Class Dojo is a classroom management tool where you can keep track of behaviors of each student and give rewards in the form of points. You can also give points to more than one student at a time. You can see your class members and even add more just by hitting the plus button. Type the new name in the box and press Add. You now have your new class member added. You can take attendance by tapping the symbols on the right side of the screen until it shows the appropriate color. As you can see here, I've marked Bradley absent and Johnny late. And then you hit the Save Attendance button so that you know who's there. I can now award individual points to students by clicking on their avatar and then clicking one of these three spots for participation points, points for being on task, and points for working hard. I can also have negative points recorded. It doesn't actually go down on their little score, but I can record that they were talking out of turn, being unprepared, or off task. I can view a record of Cameron's behaviors simply by clicking here on this report function, and then I see this screen that shows anything that I have recorded in Cameron's behavior, and I can add notes. This way I can have detailed records of her behaviors, and I don't have to wait till the end of the day and try to remember why I gave her warnings. This function is particularly helpful for students who have an IEP or are being observed prior to an IEP, or maybe just students who their parents want you to be aware of certain behaviors. This way you can have real hard data for those reports and also just to give to the parents and other teachers. When I return to the class page and I can see all my class members, a neat function that's on this page, it doesn't have anything to do with awarding behavior, but you can hit this random function up here at the top, and that will just choose a random student, which is good for if you have a question and you have no volunteers. This is a good way so that you aren't biased. You can just have your app do it so that you don't pick the same students all the time. I can also award points to the entire class just by hitting the class avatar button. There I can award points. I can award points the way I did before, and I can also view the class report just like I did with the individuals. Here I can see details of the whole class performance. This is also helpful for maybe class rewards or anything that's related to the entire class as a whole, and I can see if they had a good day or a bad day. I can also look back on factors that were previous to today, and I can set a time interval using that calendar function. Now all I have to do to look back is either choose daily, weekly, monthly, or all the time, and that will help me organize my reports easier and just be able to see things the way I want to, so because everybody doesn't want to see them the same way. If I scroll to the left of my original screen, I can see different groups of students, and I can edit the groups however I want them and name them what I want. So if you have group projects going on, this is a great function. Or if you have people set at different tables or their desks grouped together, this will be a function you'll want to use. Again, I can award points to each group basically the same way I did for the individuals. First, I click on that group's avatar, and on the next screen I can see the group members. Bradley's avatar is gray right now because he's absent today. I marked him absent earlier in the presentation. And I can award the group each points, or I can record negative behaviors as well, just like with the individuals. I can also edit the groups right here in the same place, and all I do is click on the settings function up here in the corner, and that'll take me to a new screen. In this new screen, I can change the group name or the group members. The group name is obviously by the group name, and then edit group is where I can change the group members, how many people are in the group, all of that kind of stuff. And then you just hit Save Changes, and that's your new group. I can also add groups on this page just by hitting the Add Group function, and then I see a new screen. This screen looks very similar to the one that you saw when I clicked on one of the other groups, and it really is pretty much the same. You can name the group and add students to the group, and then you hit the Create button, and then you have a new group. When I go back to my home page with my class, at the bottom of the screen you can see that there's the different functions. There's Classroom, Class Story, Messages, and Notifications, and each of these has to do with a different part of the app. The Classroom is the part that we've been in this whole time, but now we're going to go to Class Story, which is kind of a social media. So when you hit the Class Story button, you see what kind of looks like a Facebook feed, which is basically what it is. So this is a place where your parents, if they have the app, they can log in and log in with your classroom and your school, and see what their students have been doing, what projects you're doing. You can add new stories, pictures. Basically, it's just like a Facebook for the classroom for your parents, just to keep them involved, because parents always like to know what their students are doing. You can also use the Class Story function to give your parents reminders, because we all know that if you send a note home with your class or with your student, it's probably not going to get to their parents. So you can use this social media type feed to give reminders, just like Miss Bennett did here in this example. If we go back to the toolbar at the bottom of the page, we can see that we can also add or we can use the Messages function to communicate with our parents. Here you can again see all of your class members, and you can invite your parents to connect so that you can directly message them. Here, obviously, you can see that I don't have any parents connected yet, and that's because these are fake students, not a real class, just a demonstration. But you can invite your parents to give their contact information. That way you can communicate with them all through the app. It just makes it easier so you don't have to switch from the app to your email or whatever communication device that you typically use to get a hold of parents. And it's also, again, we know that notes don't usually make it to parents, so this is a good way to talk directly to the parents instead of relying on a piece of paper that's probably going to get lost in a book bag. Once again, if we look at the bottom of the page, we can see the last item on the toolbar is notifications. Here what you see is just notifications from the creators of Class Dojo. So this is just your app notifications, not notifications for your specific class. This can also help keep you up to date with new things that are coming from the creators of Class Dojo. So if you think that Class Dojo is a good app and you would like to see more, this is where you're going to see new awesome tools from the same people. Just to conclude, Class Dojo is a free app that can help you manage your classroom, help you record ideas. It's especially helpful if you have students with IEPs or special needs, or students that just need extra watching and care. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that you decide to try Class Dojo. I haven't had a chance to try it with an actual group of students yet, but I really look forward to that chance.